glitched out. Catch up on video, audio.
Hey everyone.
Hey.
Yep, we're here with a new weekly programming for the Wednesday Night War, as it's now being called, featuring AEW versus going head to head every week with the A brand of WWE, NXT.
Yeah.
I'm with Noah Foster. Hi everyone.
Hello everybody. I'm just a simple man and a lifelong fan of wrestling. My name is Noah Foster. Wednesday Night War Week 1. What a delivery.
Yes. It was the biggest moment in this wrestling industry, and I'm asked to be a part of one of them.
Lucky, you got to be part of history. But hey, I simulcast both shows and I had a blast. So there you go.
Yeah, and we met. And also, I brought something with me.
Oh, big gold belt. You gotta want the big gold belt. I could bring my UK belt, but I'll leave it sitting pretty for right now until I see what's next for Imperium. But you cannot go against the WCW heavyweight. Oh, excuse me, the WWE World Heavyweight Championship.
Oh, this is the WCW version.
Sweet.
I even have a engravement.
Oh, that's awesome! I didn't know you could get that. You must have got that when those were available. Or did you get that custom made?
This is back when they were available. They don't do that anymore, apparently.
Yeah. Sad, really. I hope they bring that back. But I guess with the custom side plates, that's all that matters. The day you can make your own custom side plate, that'll be quite a day. But then again, it seems like they can.
That would cost too much for them, though.
It cost too much. Freaking money. Freaking companies got more money up the wazoo. But enough about WShop.com. We're not sponsored by that. We're sponsored by Pro Wrestling Tees. I'm kidding. AEW versus NXT Week 1. AEW Dynamite debut. Eric, I'm extremely judged. You got to be a part of history. What was the atmosphere like?
Let's see. Okay, so I was with my mom at the show. She was the one that took some picture of me standing with the arena stage behind me.
Nice.
And she doesn't really watch much wrestling like she used to. Like, she was a fan of The Undertaker, still is. But the one thing she did say, that hearing that environment from the fans, it was like, even for her, she said it's like the old WWE days.
Yeah, that seems about right. New, fresh, organic, extreme excitement. Not like, hi, I'm here. I'm going to talk about social media. It's like, I want to enjoy wrestling again. This company makes me think that wrestling can be cool again. And, I mean, I saw on YouTube, they had like a little pre-stream of, like, you know, the guy sitting up the announce area. I didn't see the set or anything like that, but I saw the inside of the arena. I heard the chatter, per se. And then I go to TNT East on my Hulu app, is how I watched it. And they start with this countdown special that literally tells the tale of all elite wrestling, basically.
Yeah. And one highlight, since I was at the show, I didn't hear any commentary, but I did hear a lot of praise with Jim Ross, especially Tony Schiavone.
The magic is back. It was like freaking 90s all over again, and you could tell how excited those two were to be back together in the booth. And Excalibur, he played an integral part, of course, calling the play-by-play action. I like his Twitter handles like @ShutUp Excalibur, because Guy will tell you a match play-by-play, but those two had tremendous chemistry. All three of them, great commentary.
All right, but now here's a question: which is better, commentary or AEW's?
Ah. Okay, so
because I'm not evil.
Hey, you're just talking to me. I'm a fan. Like I said, I'm neutral. I mean, you see the shirts in the background. Anyway, I have to say, because I know how well JR and Tony Schiavone, they know each other and how well they can work off one another. And Excalibur, I know how well he is a play-by-play guy also from like PWG and stuff. You got Maronell, you got Naja McGuinness, but Beth Phoenix, she's not Excalibur, so I have to go right now with AEW. She does a great job. She definitely seems to be more into the women's matches, which I can respect. But I gotta go right now with AEW being the stronger commentary team on all three fronts. Beth Phoenix over time could become great. NXT still has to find a prime candidate to really carry a 3-person booth. I feel like AEW has finally achieved it.
Yeah, and I love how they get two well-known legends, and they were like, okay, we need to get a third guy who is a rise up and coming, and we can build for the future.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, Tony Schiavone, he's like senior producer of commentary, so you know how much he's driving the force behind this.
Yeah, and Tony Schiavone, wasn't he last year running a Subway store at the time?
I think you're right. I know he was
Yeah,
the guy in MLW, so.
yeah. This was before he went to MLW, and then he was working at a Subway place, and now he's back in wrestling again.
He's got like the Mean Gene type vibe to him too when it comes to the way he basically, gets into the action. But he also expresses himself again. AEW TV 14, not PG. So
Yeah,
there are times where it may seem Tony Schiavone was a little biased, but it also seemed the commentary was authentic.
yeah. And then you got the NXT side of things where you get the phenomenal Mauro Ranallo.
A guy can make a freaking metaphor out of anything that can relate to wrestling and pop culture. And Naja McGuinness is learning off of this guy when it comes to all these pop culture references.
Yeah.
And Beth Phoenix is just finding her part to speak in commentary when it comes to what's being told in the ring and who's performing. But Maranello, crown jewel, no pun intended, of NXT, and he opens NXT by himself, which I think is really cool, welcoming you to this brand. And then he's with this duo. He is NXT.
Yeah, luckily, because he almost did leave following issues.
Yeah, that was a thing. And we saw the backlash from the fans behind that.
And they didn't do a thing about it until he actually left on his own terms and not because we wanted it.
Right. And Marvinell, mental health advocate, always finding battles within himself, but also finding battles for all of us that have faced issues per se to an extent of some sort, an internal battle of ourselves. So mad respect to Marvinell. I'm so glad he found his place back to NXT and is literally the voice of NXT. If there's such a thing as NXT for life, like Johnny Gargano claims he is, I hope Marvinello is part of that club.
Yeah, and then you let's see, on AEW's front, they're now going, like you said before we started this, they're going to do the AEW dark shows, which yes. I'm surprised they did that because we never did that.
Yeah, it's like dark matches don't matter in WWE unless they're on like their little tiny showcase that I guess still on Hulu. I'd never watch it.
I think they do release unreleased product on DVD and Blu-ray, but nothing that really makes you say, "Hey, let's take this seriously." Add you a story.
Yeah, let's see if this could add like some continuity, to what's going on with these wrestlers, or is there a story could lead to something? Because again, AEW says they're going to honor wins and losses. Wins and losses matter. Now we know how much it matters because they're going to use Tuesdays to show us these dark matches and give us the tale behind them and maybe what we could expect afterwards. Hosted by, of course, Tony Schiavone, AEW Dark.
Yeah, and Matt Jackson, I believe, and Matt has said that yes, wins and losses will also count on the dark matches.
Well, there you go. So watch those updates because, I watch, of course, from home. They do have with the graphics the little records based on the type of match they're going into and their record overall. So whether it was trios, tag, or singles, you knew basically how well they were under those stipulations, but you also knew their overall AEW record.
Yeah. And I'm excited that they're trying to say, hey, let's make these wins and losses matter. Where in WWE, it's like, you could lose 100,000 times, but you'll get a title shot.
It's like, we'll just set the match on the spot. You want it, you got it. I mean, NXT per se, when Big O's like, nothing is given, everything is earned. So, I mean, when you look at the setup of the card for NXT, it did make a lot of sense for most of the matches, especially 2 of the 3 title matches. I feel like one of them was just, thrown together because it's like, what other tag team do we have right now that could qualify for the NXT tag team titles? And
they're built up enough to actually be a threat.
Right, and it's not like they do automatic rematch clauses. They don't do that per se. It's like now you neither earn your spot, but they still need to establish a stronger tag team division. So as far as tag team divisions go, AEW is winning on all fronts.
Yeah, like you got LAX, you got the Young Bucks, you got, let's see, Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy, to an extent Marco Stunt. Uh, and let's see, you got the Lucha
Private Party,
Bros, SCU.
you.
And I'm just thinking, like, imagine if the Revival was there, because they've been trying to get out.
FTR, I mean, eventually I'm sure more people will be there. But yeah, so starting off, commentary, who's got the bigger strength? Got to go with AEW. Presentation. AEW is using basically what looks like seems to be the same set for everything.
Yeah.
So far I don't think of it as like old. And NXT still from Full Sail, Biggertron, more lights. It's a different atmosphere, so it's kind of hard to really classify them by sets. It would be different if NXT was in that baseball stadium or basketball stadium. They got at a Full Set that did like 3 or 4 shows in, I believe, because that is a higher capacity and they could do a bigger set there. But
Yeah.
I'm surprised they haven't utilized that actually. They haven't done that, but I like the aesthetic that AEW is bringing so far for their sets in light pyro show. That was a very
Yeah.
light pyro intro.
Yeah. And once more, and then you got this big cards going on for this week with basically a mini takeover with NXT, and then you got AEW's first night out.
Yeah, the first time wrestling's been on TNT since 2001, and NXT bringing the fire. Follow that, my friends, with saying that the first 30 minutes of NXT it will be commercial free. Now, you
Yeah,
got to see one match, of course, at AEW Dynamite, the Dark, that, of course, I can't wait to see. I honestly don't know if NXT does that at Full Sail, per se, before.
there was no reports they do dark matches.
Okay, so I mean, it's just literally you're there, that's the full product. So your opener was Sammy Guevara versus Cody, and they
Yeah,
hyped that up with a video package, actually, detailing both men's aspects on this match and aspects on each other. Cody, of course,
yeah,
saying that if he loses, he basically is not facing Chris Jericho at Full Gear. The commentary brought, though, if it's a draw based on his record, he potentially might not also face him. And then,
yeah. I'm glad they're actually adding stakes to what could be a regular match, but say, oh well, the Lindsay Loss system is here, so basically that's a threat.
yeah, exactly. It actually could derail you because, again, draws can happen. Every match is a time limit. And Justin Roberts, he announced every match's time limit, too. Again, old school mentality. And then NXT with Alicia Taylor, I think her name is. She's okay, but Justin Roberts is a veteran. I got to go with Justin Roberts on that front.
Yeah,
The opening match there was Matt Riddle versus Adam Cole. And I thought this was very interesting. I knew you wanted to start with a hot opener, but you start with your chopped champion? Huh.
yeah. That was like, okay, so does that mean we're gonna get Candice on your base end, which was not the case?
Yeah. I mean, I kind of would have liked to have saw that because I think there was more to it until I saw the angle, of course, than the NXT Tag Team title match, which I've seen now 3 times. Once live for the titles, NXT Takeover Toronto 2. That was a heck of a lot of fun. But yeah, I must say, between the two, though, I've heard criticisms already from people I follow on Twitter about why didn't AEW start out with Chris Jericho? He's your champ. Don't you want to showcase your champ?
Yeah, except doesn't anyone remember how everyone got mad regarding, hey, why is the WWE champion not going on last?
Exactly. So, like, where do you want the title honored? Or do you want the person and the title honored, like, beginning and the end? Isn't that like the definition of, oh, I don't know, overexposure?
Yeah, it's called Monday Night Raw.
Fair enough. But yeah, AEW is not going up against Raw or SmackDown Live, despite the fact doing bigger sized venues than NXT. It's going up against NXT, the A brand of WWE, in my opinion. When I
Yeah.
look at this, you've seen both shows. You were there live, but you also watched the broadcast, and you saw NXT. So I'm going to ask you, because I, of course, simulcast both.
Well, I didn't watch the broadcast of AEW on TV. I was at the show,
Right.
but I did watch NXT the next night at 10 when they aired it on the network.
I find it interesting they're airing NXT 10 to midnight, the Impact slot, versus 8 to 10. You would think they would just literally, like, I don't know, line it up But
yeah, I think the idea is like basically USA gave the deal, say, okay, we can let you have the NXT broadcasted on the next night, but it has to be a full 24 hours after its initial airing ended, and
yeah,
it's at 10.
yeah, well, I guess that makes sense. Plus, it did go further than your standard 2 hours. This NXT did. Will they continue doing that going forward? Only time will tell. But AEW, let's go ahead and talk about Sammy Guevara versus Cody. That was
Yeah,
quite a match.
yeah, I was kind of hoping what they could do if they had Sammy Guevara win.
Yeah, because that would literally throw Full Gear to unpredictability. Cards would get
Yeah.
changed, but it would make sense. In
Yeah,
the end, though,
but the main thing I was hoping for was basically Cody, do not do something stupid like you've done for the last several pay-per-view events.
to an extent, he really didn't. I mean, the biggest thing here is who you thought was going to play heel, who you thought was going to play face. Sammy Guevara being cocky, obnoxious, annoying. Crowd booed him. And before Cody even came out, you had Cody chants. And of course, Cody with his kind of over the top entrance, not really here, but it was really, you could tell on the broadcast how much Cody was taking it in. Like, this is real. This is real. And
Yeah.
literally took it in, walked with his wife to the ring. He kissed the ring, and he just literally took in the audience, the atmosphere, like, yep, you are literally a guy leading a company. And then we get Sammy Guevara with some new music. The music is a whole nother thing, too. It's like, okay, who's got the better music right now? With C-Floss out of the picture for NXT, I wonder how that might adapt NXT's intro format versus AEW, who I still don't know fully writes all their stuff. I know
I believe the person who's making the music is called Mikey Ruckus.
Mikey Ruckus.
Yeah. He's the one that made the intro, the Cody Rhodes, Shawn Spears promo music.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Yeah, but here's the thing that I feel like should be a major factor going into next year for AEW and NXT. Basically, it's like WWE and AEW should do this. Okay, WWE, rehire Jim Johnson. AEW, hire Jim Johnson.
Jim Johnson's right now floating. I mean, the last thing we heard that he did, he made a custom for PCO called Shocker for Ring of Honor, and it sounds freaking epic. Hire the man already.
Yeah, and Ring of Honor probably is not going to last very long.
Sad to say. I expect bigger expectations. But, I mean, if they get bought by Impact, that could be a whole nother video. But anyway, so Sammy Guevara versus Cody. I mean, Sammy Guevara was the heel of this, but you still had brash, heelish type tactics from, Brandy, who I hope she doesn't develop a Stephanie McMahon complex. I guess we'll see how that goes in the weeks out.
Well,
But
so far hasn't said she's the founder of women's wrestling, so that's good.
yeah. And the only time she got involved in this match was when Sammy inadvertently caused Cody to take her out via that suicide dive where Cody kind of stopped his momentum. Like, it was like a planned spotter. He knew basically what was going to happen. And then later on, Brandy gets involved, hits Sammy in the face with her heel, and Cody gets a disaster kick, turns Sammy inside out. And I'm like, oh, come on, not like this. No, it didn't end like that. Sammy looked very strong in defeat here, being caught up in a roll-up after a high-risk aerial offense, and they got some nice high-risk spots with the giant Spanish fly and the inverted suplex, and then, of course, the attempted 450 splash. It led to a roll-up. I thought it made Sammy look very strong in defeat and was a very nice opener to AEW Dynamite. What were your further thoughts on this match from both people?
Well, when I saw this match, as you can tell since I was there, I had some issues with the crowd standing up.
Oh yeah, the crowd was carrying this show pretty much most of the night standing. So I can only imagine how difficult that was for you.
And plus, someone kept waving a flag in front of me, so that didn't help.
Was it like a Puerto Rico flag?
I think so.
Gee, I wonder why that was there. You also saw the sign, by the way. Shout out to the 1990s Vince Fair ratings.
Yeah.
That was
imagine it's the same guy from that when they had that sign back then.
Or his son, now the new generation. And then we have some spectators, your WWE front row guys like green shirt, smile face guy in the hat. I saw him there in the front row. I'm not sure if the dude with the long hair looks like a girl was there. I feel like we're going to see more prime WWE plants or fans in these AEW prods going forward. I thought that was very interesting.
And we also got Kevin Smith, Jay, and Silent Bob there.
Oh yeah, promoting a movie, so they're already getting those cameos in for celebrities. But they also had, of course, reason for that because their La Champion, Chris Jericho, is also in that movie, and of course they talk about that later. But of course, I simulcast, and we're talking about both. So at this time on NXT, again, they started with their actual top champ, and really I thought was going to be top match in the card. I really thought this should have closed the show, to be honest with you. At this time, Matt Riddle and Adam Cole put on a clinic. And of course, Cole's cast came into play with the finish and the last shot. I mean, at one point, the crowd, I thought they were going to jump over the rail, how excited they got between the sequence that Cole and Riddle shared with the kicks, the enziguris, and just the knee strikes. This was a really hot opener. So
yeah, I thought it was a phenomenal match. I say this was the match of the Wednesday night first week.
Yeah, when you're looking at match quality, match performance, and storytelling, I have to go with Matt Riddle and Cole owns from the match standpoint. That was the match of Wednesday Night War Week 1. But of course, that was just our openers of both shows. We go back to AEW and we get Tony Schiavone in what some people call the Mean Gene role. He goes into the ring. He talks about how big this is. The first match ever on TNT in over 18 years. First wrestling match. And as soon as Cody and him are about to have an impromptu interview.
And Sammy Guevara looking all noble.
Yeah, it's like, but he also looked PO'd. He's like, you know what? But here. And then, Cody and him, they have a handshake. And then we hear the crowd getting hyped up. Now, as soon as they did the handshake, did you see Jericho running down to the ring?
Yeah, pretty much.
Jericho comes out, beats the daylights out of the guy. And, yeah, they literally use everything around ringside, including the foam soffer type chairs. I'm not sure how bad that was to Cody's back. Probably wasn't that bad. But Jericho just beats them all around corner to corner. Was this the part where the hot dog was thrown in the ring?
I think that was the main event.
Okay, because I remember Jericho put over anything. Anyway.
Except he can't put over Monday Night Raw every week.
Well, that's because he's not there. But I digress.
Let me rephrase that. Bray Wyatt's been trying to save Monday Night Raw on his own, but he can't.
Not as long as Vince is in there. And Vince is
and then we got the adultery storyline that sucked.
Oh, you mean the one or the... Oh, yeah, I guess they're just one. Well, now it's like two, right? You got temptation.
Yeah.
You got cheating. So, I mean, I guess they do go hand in hand. But, yeah. Cody got beaten up badly. I like also how in AEW, the commentary, they prompted us when they were going to go picture to picture, don't go anywhere, or we'll be back. This match continues shortly after this. They kind of cued us how the commercial breaks were going to be handled, and this brawl was handled during a mute break. Very well to an extent. When it comes to mute breaks, a WWE tactic, I think AEW right now is handling it much better. And not just the fact that they're actually prompting us when it happens, but I think that definitely carries to its strength.
Yeah. And then like they showed the unaltered, and then they showed it on YouTube, the unaltered footage of Jericho beating the life out of Cody.
Yeah, they give you the full thing, and then Jericho, of course, says, I am Chris Jericho, and I am the AEW champion. And at one point,
I am Le Champion!
Yeah, I thought he was going to leave the belt again. And he's like, you're welcome. Everyone's saying,
when everyone was chanting, thank you, Jericho.
We got 50-50 partisan crowd. Crowd's organically reacting. And, yeah, so following that, they just go into the cameo with the two guys you said for the movie, and Chris Van Vliet, who's now All Elite. The avenues that AEW is using to not only tell you about the product, give you some idea to the character and personalities of these wrestlers, officials, etc., makes everything feel more important and more organically like.
Oh, and we all know one person, Arbery Elite Wrestling.
Oh, yeah, I recently watched her interview with Chris Van Vliet, and I did not know her voice could go high-pitched like that. Apparently a vegan, she was shot to be like, oh, yeah, you're doing the World Championship. Like, what? And that was incredibly fun to watch.
Yeah, and Chris Jericho said, I want her to main the title at All Out.
And Adam Page fully supported that. Everybody supported that. They're saying that she's the best ref under the AEW roster. She's only got like
and they have Earl Hebner.
Yeah, that's saying something. Earl Hebner's like the oldest one there, the veteran. This guy's been through everything.
And plus, he's had a history with having a personality like, against Triple H.
Oh, yeah, there's also that. But before the Chris Van Vliet thing, we did get, okay, is it wrong for me to say Brandon Cutler versus MJF was everything I expected it to be because MJF's the best heel right now in the wrestling industry?
Yeah, but before we get to that match, there was something that actually overshadows Jay and Silent Bob.
Oh, what?
King's return.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, Finn Balor is back in NXT.
Yes, and that crowd exploded. Maranello, I thought he was going to blow a blood gasket. It was like, what the hell? The former longest reigning, no, he's still the longest reigning in history, NXT champion. And he comes in and literally says, as of now, Finn Balor is NXT. And they immediately released a shirt saying, yep, it's real. So it looks like Papa Triple H brought one of his NXT childs back to the promised land.
Yeah, now he just needs to get back to Revival, and then everything will be balanced out a little bit.
Well, a little bit balanced out. There's still a lot of people that could go back to NXT.
Yeah, I know one person who definitely should probably go back to NXT and really have an attitude adjustment.
And who should that be?
Rollins.
Oh, good grief. I don't know if there's any help for that guy. The money's too good. Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, he also said Matt Riddle sucks. Because,
right.
dude, put on some shoes.
Okay, to be fair, there's probably a lot of people that get on Matt Riddle just for the shoe thing because he literally comes out with flip-flops and shoots them into the audience who probably took them over.
But at the same time, Rusev didn't wear shoes at one point, or boots.
Yeah, until his foot got broken and then eventually went to wrestling boots.
Yeah, but at least there was a reason for that. Matt Riddle doesn't have a reason to go wrestling boots yet.
I don't think Matt Riddle has ever gone booted in a wrestling match yet, even before NXT. I don't know if he ever.
But when I heard Rollins was saying this, like I trying to get this was him being in character and signing Adam Cole, but at the same time it's like just keep digging.
Dig a hole. Oh yeah, shout out to Holes, classic Disney movie. Yeah, this was definitely when you look at moments. So we already talked about the matches, but between the matches, yeah, Matt Riddle, Adam Cole, they won that. Now the moment, the post Jericho attack that we see in full versus the Finn Balor return. It's hard to go up against Finn Balor coming back to NXT.
Yeah, because no one saw that coming. I was thinking he was going to be either on his hunt and recuperating, or he was going to go ahead and go back to fighting Bray Wyatt.
Yeah, I was like, okay, he's going to come back and face the demon. Nope, he is reinvented and reinvigorated. He is back in NXT. Ding, NXT, you won me with that moment. Congratulations.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure, and even Bray Wyatt responded on Twitter saying, I am sorry, Finn Balor.
I remember that too, because that was literally after SummerSlam, which of course I saw live. I saw the Fiend's debut. It was glorious.
Yeah, and this gave me an idea. Imagine if they have the Fiend Bray Wyatt show up at NXT, because he has a history there as well.
Oh yeah, now would you have him show up as like the Fiend out of nowhere? Would you have him show up as normal Bray Wyatt with like, NXT, I'm here. And then you get, boom.
Nah, he's probably still doing the Firefly. He's going to probably do the Funhouse stick and then do the Fiend on someone. Like, imagine if he goes after Tommaso Ciampa.
There are so many dream components to a Ciampa match. I'm just saying. Blackheart, one of the best heels for the longest time in the wrestling industry. In WWE, one of the best heels in a long time. And then eventually the crowd got behind him after, they changed his music and he was a great.
And then he got hurt, and then they had to cancel the storyline because Vince McMahon has something to prove to Triple H, even though he doesn't have to.
Yeah, he still feels like he has something to prove every freaking week.
Yeah.
But I digress. Anyway, moving on from there, we actually, sorry, I jumped ahead on the Chris Van Vliet thing. Before that was Brandon Cutler versus MJF, and basically Brandon Cutler gets the whole, Game of Thrones type feel music in his entrance, like a Renaissance
Yeah.
thing, because he's a Dungeons and Dragons guy. Cue his opponent to insult that community again, and everyone there, including you. MJF, Maxwell Jacob Freeman. Were you booing this guy?
No, I don't really I don't really get that loud, but like I did get up and like to see him and took some pictures. But the one thing I was thinking to myself is, okay, so is Brandon Keller gonna slap him in the face and then somehow get a 30-second victory?
Well, I mean, the match went what, 5, maybe 7 minutes long. I mean,
Actually, it was 3 minutes.
Jeez. Actually, yeah, I mean, after he insults the crowd and the Dungeons and Dragons, you are looking at the hottest rising star in wrestling today, MJF, Maxwell Jacob Friedman. He insults Dungeons and Dragons community again because this is not Dungeons and Dragons. This is wrestling. This is real. Why I'm the best. And you know why? Because I'm better than you, and you know it. I was very curious on the whole rope spot. I thought he botched it. Did he really tweak it and then they just rushed to the finish? Or was this planned all along? I mean, I expected MJF to win, but yeah, that was a little weird.
I really didn't notice that part because the crowd was getting in the way. You know, that's the bane of being in the crowd.
Well, I mean, hey, you're still part of the live atmosphere. And they also had those monitors up in unique spots, I should say, also. They didn't have, like, just the center thing. I thought that was a different take to the AEW atmosphere as well.
Yeah, I saw some of the monitors, but I didn't really watch it that much unless they get back, which they did later on, which we'll talk about soon.
Yeah, but I thought this was the right finish, and MJF winning, not with a submission-based finish. So we know MJF is capable of being opponents both ways now. It adds some more dynamic to his overall character and wrestling style. And of course, he's like, to Rick Knox, pick my hand, and Rick Knox begrudgingly. But I also love how organic commentary is when Tony Schiavone basically says, I know I'm supposed to be like, just a mutual party here, but honestly, I hope Brandon Cutler kicks this prick's butt.
At least the gang allowing the to actually be, legit.
Genuine, yeah. Like Maranello. I mean, Maranello, I'm pretty sure, is also unscripted. And during this time, though, we didn't get a match in NXT. We got a promo from NXT's secret weapon, it seems, the Velveteen Dream.
And the one guy who's able to skin every single set.
I mean, how many more women can Velveteen Dream fit on this couch? How many different ways can you really push the boundaries of this character? Do you feel it? That's the experience. Are you reaching a climax here? Ladies, you feel it? You feel it? Is he Prince? Is he bi? Is he eccentric? What is this guy besides absolutely incredible? But apparently, I thought his focus was going to be coming towards the NXT title. I was wrong. Apparently, he says he wants his North American title back, and Roderick Strong, when you're ready to be a man and step out from Undisputed Era's shadow, the Velveteen Dream doesn't mind sharing his spotlight with you one more time. But just know this. The next time you choose to do that, dream over.
Yeah.
That was a money promo. Dude is
I was thinking like, okay, so we got, and then the week during the free time for NXT, the Imperium.
Yeah, I'm about to say, it's so many different ways the dynamics can go here. I mean, I guess we'll see if Roderick Strong steps up to the challenge. I mean, technically it's not an automatic rematch because Regal didn't make it official at this time, but...
Yeah, that tells me I know where they might go with this.
Oh, well, I can't wait to get that speculation. But
yeah, just think about it. In a couple of weeks, it will be War Games season.
Yeah, and there's so many different ways War Games could go right now. We're getting Undisputed Era versus Imperium. Are we getting Walter defending his title on War Games? Are we getting Adam Cole?
Actually, I have a theory.
What's your theory?
The 3 members of Imperium is the 3 members of Undisputed Era versus John Velveteen Dream, third guy who has a history with the Undisputed Era.
Oh, wow. Now that would be crazy. Bottom line, though, also, we should probably bring this up. Cody would actually like to try and buy War Games back from WWE because it was a brainchild of his father. And
yeah,
but I don't know about
I was
that.
like, can't they just share it?
I mean, could you rename it a different way, kind of like what 205 Live does with gimmick matches? We don't have traditional Survivor Series. We have Captain's Choice. We don't have what else they do? We don't have no disqualification. We have anything goes. So I mean, why can't you try something like that? You know, be a little different. But I don't know. I guess
I
time.
get Cody has a personal connection with War Games because his father made. But
Yeah,
I was like, how about you do the Sony Disney route where you share it?
yeah, like they're doing with Spider-Man. Finally, that was a ridiculous thing to fight over. I'm like, really? You all can't come up with a freaking solution towards this? Are you kidding me?
Actually, there's a reason why Sony got mad at Disney, and I
Segue.
yes, he gets pretty much all the money, and Disney doesn't get a dime out of it. He saw how much money Spider-Man made. Hey, that money over there. We want 50% of.
Yeah, because what you're giving us now is not enough. I mean, the power of money, the way it manipulates. Good gravy.
Yeah, it's called Vince McMahon and Blood Money deal.
Yeah, that's a whole nother rant for another day. Anyway, back to AEW. Then we got the Chris Van Lee spot hyping up the movie, and then the guys are saying Chris Jericho stars in it, and he's actually a villain. So ironically, you know, he's playing the same guy he basically is in All Elite Wrestling. I thought it was just method acting. And as I talk more about that, and they're excited about AEW, who comes out? Jack Evans and Angelico, basically, you know, feeling insulted. A, they're not on the card. B, they should be involved in this. C, why you here? And then the freaking actors come on the line like, you guys aren't good enough to even win a match yet. And it's like, oh,
Yeah.
that was freaking awesome. And it looked like they're about to fight until Private Party comes out and like, oh, here's some drinks. Calm down, guys. And Jack Evans and Angelico, they just, you know, bugger off because
Party is gonna
yeah,
tag team. I actually am hoping they pull the surprise in Bucks.
yeah. Well, you know, they gotta save them for the main event, which they talked about throughout the night as well. And apparently, yeah, probably Young Bucks, they're facing each other next week in the first round of the AEW Tag Team Championship Tournament. We finally know what those belts look like, by the way.
Yeah.
Let's see, NXT belts versus the AEW belts, tag team. They kind of feel similar to me because they got the globe and the logo. I think the difference is the logo runs down for NXT and AEW just runs across it. But they do have like the wrestling maneuvers on the side plates. I think that's pretty cool with the AEW logo. But as far as what I think which belts are better, that's kind of up to debate. Then again, you can't go against the belt man himself, Dave. I wonder if he made those belts too. So.
All right. Also, the camera cast had a connection issue for a sec on your end.
Oh, it did? Skype, it will do that because bandwidth and rendering. I'm sure people will get it. So, following that, though, I'm just going to say this right now. Scorpio Sky for president. That was an unbelievable impersonation of Barack Obama. Did you see that on the Titantrons at all?
Yeah, I saw it.
And freaking SCU, Christopher Daniels Kazan, where his Secret Service or security, he's like, oh, my fellow Americans, this is the worst town I've ever been in. And he's
well,
like,
considering it's DC, it makes sense.
ouch, dude, that's our capital.
Yeah, except look who's running the Capitol.
Oh, Lord. Let's not try to be political.
When I got there, I was about to take a picture of the building, and I was going to say, look at that place. You will never find a more wretched hive.
Oh,
be cautious.
Oh, man. The amount of like callback that would have gotten. Because, yeah, they did have the White House in the background. Anyway, they're like, we're bringing that West Coast charm to this place. SCU, we go into the arena, we find Tony Schiavone at the top of the ramp, interviewing SCU, because the one unknown factor in the AEW Tag Team Championship Tournament, that is a mouthful, what two members were going to be involved in this? And they were talking about this on Being the Elite and the Rose and all this, and we finally got the answer. Bad Influence. Courtesy of Scorpio Sky, as much as you love gold around his waist, he's going with the experience of Christopher Daniels and Kazarian, former four-time, I think he said four, tag team champions. And they were going to hype themselves up until callback. Yes, you got to see Lucha Brothers live. We're following up from the freaking aftermath of Fight for the Fallen. Lucha Brothers like, oh, hold on. Before you say anything else, let me remind you why we are the best tag team in the world.
I
Get
think
put
you
on the
said in
mic.
the universe.
Yeah, universe. Well, change the universe, change the world.
Yeah,
Right?
which means that makes me Matt Hardy and Jeff Hardy will retaliate.
Broken Hardy to friggin' AEW. Why not? And he
We
said,
are all of space time.
oh, the space and time. Yes. Scorpion Sky, though, he does. Ah. And basically, we get a broad after Cyril Needle.
Yeah,
And
the crowd was loud for that.
oh, I bet they were. And then people chant SCU and Spit Take. We got Bra, Atlas Security, Aubrey Edwards, and everybody trying to break these two up. Tony Schiavone just getting the heck out of Dodge. I thought that was a fun angle. And then following that, we go into this was when you look at the AEW product, AEW Dynamite, and you try to think, okay, what was my match of the night? I gotta be honest. Pac versus Page was mine.
Yeah.
It was a clinic.
Yeah, and then you his counter to that, it was Io Shirai for them.
Yeah, and surprisingly, that was like a sleeper, really, because that wasn't even on the card. But this kill Io is unbelievable. Genius of the Sky, lover entrance. And Mia Yim, she still brings up an incredible fight. And this went, I think, about as long almost as the Hangman Page versus Pac match. So between these two, really the match I've been waiting for since Double or Nothing that didn't happen, and this sleeper match, I'm actually going to go with Hangman Page versus Pac on this one.
Yeah.
I mean, it was great. Earl Hebner was the ref.
Yeah.
During a mute break, before they actually even started, they went to commercial. I thought that was a nice touch. Again, being prompted how it's going to happen. JR, he really played his role well tonight. I know a lot of people have been giving him slack lately on his AEW commentary.
Yeah, I understand that. Like there are some people that say that he just doesn't get the nowadays wrestling styles that people do, which I completely understand. But at the same time, he was in New Japan for a while, and he had to experience Will Ospreay.
He caused some New Japan matches right here on U.S. soil with the G1 special. He even got attacked at one point inadvertently. And Josh Barnett and freaking came to blows with somebody that did
Jay
that.
White.
Yep, Jay White, of course, the most hated man in Japan Pro Wrestling. Probably one of the only real other heels left in the wrestling industry. But primarily, it's only in Japan. He's loved everywhere else.
Yeah. I wonder how he would do as a face if he ever turned face.
I don't know. That'd be an interesting dynamic. I mean, we saw how Omega's been doing, but Omega, he can go face, heel, goofy, crazy, don't matter.
Along.
Io Shirai beat Mia Yim with the side moonsault in a very great back and forth match. Even after Mia Yim hit her cold blue maneuver, she didn't like protect your neck or eat the feet. Shout out to Gail Kim. I thought that was interesting. And then over here on AEW Dynamite, we had everything except a dead shot, I believe, but we had almost a buckshot lariat leading towards the finish until Earl Hebner almost gets inadvertently knocked out, but he's in the ropes like a normal ref would, dodging the action, not just, turning his head. And then Pac, the dirty bastard that he is, dreaded low blow with a mule kick right to the jewels, leading to the...
And some person in the audience was screaming out, "You screwed, bro!"
Continuity, you gotta love it. Freaking Pac wins with the Black Arrow Brutalizer combination because an incapacitated Page couldn't do anything. I Hebner had to call for the belt. Pac one of the strongest records now, 2-0-0. It's unbelievable right now what they're doing with Pac. I'm very surprised. But I think the right person won here because,
Yeah, interesting where Pac goes. A lot of people he goes on an undefeated streak.
Yeah. I'm in AEW. And it's like he doesn't smile. He still has that scold on his face even after the match. He looks at you menacingly in that camera. And it's like, okay. So
if he was to turn face, he would have to shave the beard. It doesn't work.
Yeah, never shave that. Never shave it. Oh, I can't wait for his next T-shirt design. Oh, by the way, let's talk about the T-shirts while we're at it. So NXT went to USA. They brought out, 30 designs. That's literally just the wrestler's name. Maybe
that sucked.
Logo and color. But AEW, they keep bringing out designs, and they even got a partnership with Hot Topic. I think that's pretty cool. I feel like
only did that because you have the Elite, and we made a lot of money, so yeah, we'll do it.
Yeah, I mean, and we'll be like more original with our creative approach to these shirts, and none of their shirts to me seem plain in any case. I mean,
the only bad I could say AEW's ever produced a Boeing shirt.
yeah, but you remember why they did that? It was an event to, because Bang, he went boing. The event was about going against gun violence, which is a smart reason. But they try to make a show out of that. I bet you it still sold pretty good.
Though at the same time, you gotta remember this is a charity event. Is apparently a threat to Vince McMahon's viewpoint.
Right, hence the Evolve 10th anniversary special. But I mean, yeah. I mean, 2 matches was okay from there, and heck, one of the freaking people from that show is now under NXT. Surprisingly, wasn't on this NXT premiere, but I guess he's too green yet. Anyway, so moving on from there, go back to NXT. We bring in the first guy to claim himself NXT for life. You might as well call him now literally Mr. NXT. I thought at one point that was Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn needs to go back to NXT.
Yeah.
But no.
I keep hearing weird rumor that he's retired, and I was like, no, he isn't.
No, he isn't. He still gets in the ring, gets like bumps. I mean, Daniel Bryan's going to retire in 2 years. That's a whole different story. But at least he'll be under his own terms. He's done everything he wanted to do, and he wants to be a father. I respect that tremendously.
But the reason why they have Nakamura is primarily because they want to recreate Kevin Owens and Jericho's friendship.
Yeah, well, so far I don't think that's working, but I digress. Anyway, NXT, our next match again. Mr. NXT now, I'm calling him that. And I can't wait to see him next time in NXT Cleveland. I've seen that 2 years in a row, and he's always the highlight with like a 10-minute Johnny Wrestling. The Rebel Heart, Johnny Gargano, the remainder of the mighty Shane Thorne, who called out Johnny Gargano saying, "You're taking my time. Time for you to move on. Let someone else step in. I am now the new best in NXT." And then Johnny Gargano kicked him in the face. Hence this was a fun little match, but if anybody in their mind, even a monkey, thought that Shane Thorne was going to beat a guy that says, "I am NXT for life," especially a guy named Johnny freaking Gargano, no. Shane Thorne is not on the Johnny Gargano level. But this was a fun, short match that took a portion of the next match that happened on AEW with, can you even call it commentary? It's more like scouting. She barely said a thing. Britt Baker, baby, came out to see the inaugural AEW Women's World Champion crowned. I like the music, by the way. Anyway, let's move on, though, because this match, Riho versus the Beast, Nyla Rose, there was probably mixed reactions from the wrestling community about this match, being like, Nyla, she botches. Nyla, she's as bad as Nia.
That wasn't what I was hearing. It was transphobic comments.
Yeah, that nonsense too. But again, Twitter takes all sorts to make the world go round, unfortunately. But despite the few botches and the controversy, and also this Nyla Rose's hometown, I thought these two put on a great David versus Goliath type match. I thought the chair thing was a bit unnecessary and over the top, with the first chair shot almost being made when Nyla knew, and this was no time limit, by the way, that if chair she'll be disqualified, and you can't win the title via disqualification. Real will be on that.
At the same time, in New Japan and AEW, they allow leeway to an extent because of winner.
Only if you're Red Shoes Umino and Marty Azami as the ref. I do agree on that, though. But then again, that's like the 2 refs that New Japan Pro Wrestling has. Top 2, anyway.
Yeah, but they've had leeway with the referees giving leeway to the wrestlers, like Cody Rhodes hitting Goldust with the belt.
That is true, but it's also a Hebner. And commentary during that night did say that Urban is going to be a little lenient. He's going to let these guys go. He knows this is going to be a fight. This right here, though, is more like creating a moment. Boy, that belt is tiny. And
that's what everyone was complaining about, saying, why does it so small?
I don't know, actually, because
I was like, the one I saw on the display looked a lot bigger than that.
I swear it looked bigger than that. Was that like a zoom-in camera? It looks so small. And then you see it in the winner's hands, and it makes sense for her size because she's 98 pounds. I still can't believe that. And that's wrestled.
She was 9.
That's crazy. That's crazy to think. And she's officially signed now to AEW, courtesy.
When I looked that she was when she started wrestling, I was like, Japan, you, but I keep wanting to say this. Your culture is weird.
It's extremely weird. And again, AEW seems to be working more with these Stardom wrestlers because Bea Priestley, of course, is in her AEW. And the biggest thing that Britt was putting over in her scouting commentary position, besides the two in the ring and the towel, and feels like she should be in it, she is not done with Bea Priestley. I guarantee you, Eric, they're going to set up Bea Priestley versus Britt Baker at Full Gear.
I hope so. I like a lot of people were freaking out in the match in the crowd. Like everyone was freaking out, wondering like, oh, I hope Rio doesn't hurt herself because she's 98 pounds. Like that adds another element of worrisome for her character because in real life she is 98 pounds.
Yeah,
and plus anything could happen. She and Nyla Rose is this beast of a Goliath.
She's like what, two and a half times her size. And at one point, you saw how much stronger Nyla was when Rio tried to go for a double stomp, and literally Nyla rose and just like maybe he'll lose her balance and fall off. But that was a good spot. At times, Rio looked like she had genuine fear.
Yeah,
that's how you sell a big time person. Really, just giving this idea of okay, this is a mismatch, to say the least. But Rio persistent on and on. She kept fighting. At one point, there was a super close near. I could have sworn that was 3. Paul Turner, I think, almost blew it on that one.
Yeah, I almost thought she had her neck broken, Rio.
That was scary, yeah, on that like power bomb, almost botched, and then picked up again and power bombed. It wasn't until, of course, Nyla Rose, she did something crazy with running senton bomb through a stack of chairs with Riho on it, or so she thought. Riho moved, Riho gains basically the advantage, pulls a few offensive maneuvers in, including a vicious knee strike, that's her finisher, and Riho picks up the win. She became the inaugural AEW Women's World Champion. Now, I imagine there's a certain community that's happy about that, but as far as general wrestling fan standpoint, here's the thing. You want a giant, of course, to be like your top champion, because that shows, okay, this is a big-time thing. How hard is it going to be to take the title? But I feel like here now it just means that Nyla has a stronger case for herself to be more pushed on the chase. I mean, because again, wins and losses matter. That's a loss in her record. Now you got everybody gunning after Riho, who's the smallest in the AEW women's division. I thought it was okay for Riho to win personally. Eric, what about you?
I wanted Riho to win. Like, I was rooting for her to win that match. I had a feeling she was going to win because she has the support of Kenny Omega.
I mean, that's a big factor right there. And we saw that in the aftermatch, too, when Michael Nakazawa, he basically came in to interview her for the Japanese fans, even in Japanese, and then Nyla attacked. Now, I know Tony Khan frowns upon intergender type, mechanics in wrestling, but, I mean, Nyla Rose powerbombed him like twice, and then she went to go after Riho, only for Kenny Omega to make the save without touching her at all. But it's like, what are you doing? Not necessary. Stop this. And because we know how close Omega and Riho are, because they were former tag team partners in Yoshi Pro Wrestling.
Yeah.
They even faced Nakazawa in a match.
Yeah.
So I thought this was great. I don't know what's next for Nyla and Omega as far as that maybe feud goes. Maybe like a little bit Joshy. Because again, Omega, he is an executive vice president. We'll see what happens, and we'll see what's next for Nyla Rose. But I think it didn't hurt either person. I think the right woman won.
Yeah, and then you get on NXT's response to that match. You got Shayna Baszler versus Candice LeRae.
Candice wrestling.
That would have been in Toronto had certain factors not happened.
Yeah, let's go ahead down that timeline, but that'd be a whole nother video. But for what it was, Candice LeRae is finally getting opportunities to be more than John Gargano's wife, and she's willing to take this on, and she's doing pretty well with it. And honestly, I thought this was one of the strongest matches Shayna Baszler had, because Candice LeRae fought her move for move. Literally. It's like she's the bully. I got to go in and fight her. And she basically literally played the role of Candice wrestling, because at one point, Shayna Baszler, she just takes the hairband off. You know it's about to get violent. Literally tries to break Candice LeRae's left hand in the steel steps. And they're basically jockeying back and forth for coquina clutches to a degree. Only eventually for Candice LeRae to gain some offense, goes for her patented moonsault, one of the best moonsaults in the industry. And she gets caught in a final coquina clutch and falls asleep. But I will say this. I feel
Actually,
like,
she tapped.
yeah, tapped out, sorry. And then she fell asleep because Shannon didn't let go. But I will say this. If you're going to let this title go, I feel like it should go on a takeover. I feel like you're building Candice LeRae, but I see at least two other type of scenarios here next for Shayna Baszler. And Shayna Baszler, she did do it all on her own. No horsewomen at ringside. So between the two matches, based on the ramifications, the history being made, I'm actually gonna go with Riho versus Nyla Rose being
I
the.
went with that match too. My Twitter thread that I'm doing, I gave Sean Desiree a 3 stars, 3.75 stars, primarily because I was thinking like Candice LeRae should have won. Like there's really no one left on your baseless to fight, Ripley or Tony Storm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just kept thinking that should have been the route they went with, but they didn't do that. And like I was thinking like, who else is left?
I mean, if they don't do Rhea Ripley at War Games or somehow bring in Tony Storm to lead the NXT division, because we don't know high nor tail what Tony Storm's doing right now. She's nowhere to be found, seen, or heard from.
I
Who
didn't
else is
remember
there?
apparently and was recovering.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense. And it's not like NXT. They don't do heel versus heel dynamics. So as much as I would love to see heel EO versus Shayna Baszler, I just don't see that happening for the title one-on-one.
Well, here's what I kept thinking they should have done, which should have been safer, what would have been Evolution 2, but blood money is more important.
Bleh.
How they should have went with Io Shirai versus Candice LeRae versus Shayna Baszler, and Io Shirai picks up the victory. And then we have 2 women matches over the next couple months, building them up, and it culminates with Io Shirai versus Candice LeRae at the Mania Takeover event.
Yeah, because we know even though Triple H is rearranging the Takeover schedule, there's going to be a Takeover at next year's WrestleMania, and we also know the Mae Young Classic's coming back too. Glorious. Now give me a freaking Evolution too, but I digress. I'll take what I can get. All right. So,
but yeah, Nyla Rose and Rhea was the better match for me because, well, it just made more sense to me. And like I said, there were still some problems with Shayna Baszler and Candice LeRae in terms of how the victory should have went.
Yeah, but again, what are you going to do? At least Candice, she looks strong, and people are always going to be behind Candice. She's just so bubbly and happy, and you got to love Candice wrestling, and I'm sure this won't be her last opportunity. I'm just glad she's finally getting more opportunities.
Instead of being Johnny's wife.
Which is not a bad thing, but we know what she's capable of. I mean, when you think about intergender wrestling, okay, we go all the way back to China, who started with like Jeff Jarrett and Chris Jericho. She had the mingling with Eddie Guerrero. And then you look at today, though, where you had like the cutest tag team ever with Joey Ryan and Candice LeRae, Candice Wrestling. And literally, Johnny Wrestling and Candice Wrestling have wrestled each other. It's an intergendered marriage wrestling.
And Candice beat him on several occasions.
Yes, she has. I've seen them firsthand, even in Smash Wrestling, when Johnny Gargano was a leader of a faction. And then you look at the other pioneer leading intergender wrestling in her own trailblazing path, it seems, Tessa Blanchard. But if you're going to look at who really is the leader in that sort of genre right now as far as women intergender wrestling goes, I got to go with Candice LeRae. She's done it all.
Yeah, in my opinion, like I was advocating for months and months how we should have gotten Candice LeRae versus Tommaso Ciampa.
Yes, I wanted that to happen. If NXT would have pushed the envelope that far, imagine the ratings and the viewership. But of course, in today's world, that'd be too sensitive. Oh man, beating up with it's wrestling. Nobody in intergender wrestling's out there to hurt one another. It's just
and plus, you gotta remember Seth Rollins' comment saying it's not believable.
Oh, blutter. And yet,
and I was like, and when I heard that, I was still thinking to myself, you have several wrestling friends who are intergender wrestlers. Like Shayna Baszler intergendered against Joey Ryan. Candice LeRae, enough said on her. Johnny Gargano, enough said on him. Adam Cole, he fought Candice LeRae.
Yes, he has. Are you that blind and stupid and forgetful? What is wrong with you?
Too loyal to Vince.
That's probably it, because we already talked about the wallet thing. Will Ospreay wins that argument, but I digress.
I have the biggest bank account.
Yeah, Yeah, good on you. I hope you can live with a good conscience. Anyway, before we get into our main event of AEW, there was one more match before the main event of NXT that started during this time too. The
Pete
Bruiserweight.
Dunne and Danny Burch.
Yeah, it's a rematch from NXT UK. Nice, fun match. There was a brutal spot where at one point, Burch literally punches the upper back of Pete Dunne after he tries to do a moonsault spot out of the corner. But in the end, Pete Dunne, he wins a nice little back and forth battle between two brawlers with the bitter end. And we wonder what's next for Pete Dunne. He says like NXT is like a new beginning for him. He's going to do whatever he has to do. Well, now we know what's next. Will he live forever? Will someone meet a bitter end? I don't know. But apparently, it's going to be Pete Dunne versus Damian Priest.
Yes.
The former Punishment Martinez. That's going to be an interesting bout. I don't know where direction they're going with this, but I'm curious to see where it goes.
Yeah.
And then, go ahead.
Like when I saw this, I was like, okay, this is gonna be pretty awesome. I only see one Punishment Martinez match, but I thought he was really good for a big guy. And in fact, a lot of the bigger wrestlers are now doing cruiserweight moves.
Yeah, it's crazy, right? I mean, I thought Marwinell was gonna freaking pass out after what Dominic Dijakovic and Keith Lee did last week. That was bloody insane. That should have been on this week's show. My God.
Yeah, but here's the thing. Imagine when the day comes, they main event a takeover for the title.
Oh, man. Give them 30 freaking minutes bell to bell. Simple as that. All right. So, going back to AEW, we get our main event of the night between... I love the Marvel-inspired Being the Elite entrance by the Bucks and Omega. That was brilliant.
Yes.
Because we know how big they are in superheroes and just, original ideas and recreating themselves based on stuff like that. That was brilliant. The fans showcasing the video, then get the Being the Elite logo and the music from the actual show. And Omega, we wonder what sort of Omega we were going to get, the goofy Omega or like the serious Omega. It was normal. Yeah, it was, or the cleaner, because they wanted to clean it, but Kenny Omega threw his shades into the trash. So anyway, those are Orange Cassidy shades, my bad. Oh, man. That picture with Orange Cassidy and the mini Orange Cassidy, that was freaking funny. Yeah, anyway. So this main event, it was the Young Bucks and Omega versus Chris Jericho and the partners of his choosing, as we learned earlier in the Countdown special. The former LAX, Santana Ortiz, I thought those partners were kind of pretty predictable. Someone thought it was going to be Darker. I was like, why?
Yeah.
That's too much.
But but within several minutes of that match, we got the return of the Moxley.
We were waiting for Jon Moxley because it said Jon Moxley was appearing live. It didn't say when or how, and they didn't even talk about it on commentary, which was also another interesting point. But it said, oh, I knew he was here. Boy. And then here's the thing. Remind me. In tag matches, when the non-legal guys attack, the match continues, right? Because Kenny Omega was non-legal. Because people are already talking about the logic.
Jon Moxley does have a history of attacking people who were illegal, but they didn't disqualify anyone, a.k.a. Survivor Series 2016.
Yes, I remember that. Absolutely.
Possibly the best Survivor Series match of all time.
Possibly, yeah. The freaking Randy Orton and Bray Wyatt were the sole survivors. That was interesting, with the help of Luke Harper. But I digress. And boy, these two brawn. We still got action in between them and out of the ring at the ring as well. But we freaking got shades of the cleaner when Kenny Omega grabbed a mop, did his little sweep thing. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah. Oh, also AC from DC. Next to.
Oh, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, him at the event.
Oh, okay.
Oh, and by the way, he caught the Young Bucks shirt.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, he has it on his Twitter.
Oh, lucky.
Yeah, and then I also found out, remember when Cody threw his belt into the crowd?
Yeah, way over there.
Yeah, he said he might do that regularly now, so the belt department have to make a lot.
Yeah.
But apparently, fans were doing a rock, paper, scissors. Who would go home with that?
Oh, so instead of actually trying to brutalize each other, it was like mutual, like, okay, you want it? Let's just have a friendly comment. Okay, and that's another thing, too. This venue, JR said it was 14,000 sold out. That's impressive for your first show. I was figuring they're going to do 8,000, 10,000. We even talked about this on the Elite Wrestling podcast. They exceeded our expectations.
Yeah, like the hard cam area was closed off mostly. There were a couple of people there, mostly because of the hard cam.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And we look at full sale. I think that could fit like what? Like a couple thousand or something like that?
maybe at best 800.
Yeah. And you look at ticket prices though from the WWE events versus AEW. You can sit front row for less than 200. That is awesome. I pray AEW comes to the Toledo, the Michigan, Ohio area. I will sit front row. I guarantee you that.
Well,
In
I
this
already
shirt.
told you I'm sitting front row at full
Lucky!
gear.
Freaking lucky.
And I might even be.
Yeah, bring that. Bring that. I dare you bring that. If they make AEW championship belt replicas, I'm buying one. That belt is beautiful. And anyway, Omega.
And also, Moxley killed Kenny. You bastard!
Jeez, yeah. I don't care. That was sugar glass. That was brutal. When was the last time a glass table was used in a freaking segment? Then again, this is John Moxley. He has no care or well-being for his or other safety. And apparently this was a VIP area. Jared's like, there's a VIP area? Why I wasn't told about this?
Yeah. No, and at the same time, you got to remember Moxley, and you saw what he used to do back in CZW.
Oh, yeah, fair point. That I still think that company is insane. Anybody who works there, both men or women, Penelope Ford. Anyway, yeah, he says, say something! Say something! So, yeah, Omega, I hope you're okay. I can't wait to see the fallout of this on Being the Elite and the next Road. Well, actually, would that mean they would have to do Being the Elite and the Road the same day? Because I didn't see a Road for Thursday. So I wonder how they're going to hype up all this. But we already see the influence in social media of the events that transpire from All Elite Wrestling, Dynamite, basically continuing these feuds and brawls in real life, which we'll get to in a moment. But this was a great match. We ended up with a 3-on-2 handicap situation. The Bucks were on their own, but Nick gets the hot tag and just goes to town on everybody.
Yeah.
That was insanely brilliant. And it looked like they were set up for the best Meltzer driver, only for Jericho to come into play and catch him out of midair into a one-knee code breaker with an assisted poetry in motion from, I'm just going to call him LAX, former LAX, with the running step-up cannonball that eventually led to the assisted run into Judas effect, elbow strike, giving Jericho the win for his team. So I call that
once more, Jericho. Oh, that's when the hot dog came in during the commercials.
Oh yeah, that's right. The hot dog fans like, who threw this wieners? Who did that? Oh, I wonder if they were thrown out. That was just out of nowhere. I was like, oh, someone threw a hot dog in the ring? What? Well, I guess that's hard things you could be hit with, but a hot dog? Okay. Anyway, following this, we get beat down by the heels. Jericho and Santana Ortiz, they beat down the Bucks. Omega's nowhere to be found. Moxie nowhere to be found. They're gone. Probably.
Yeah, Kenny's probably trying to his best to get the glass out of his skull.
Yeah, see how many stitches that takes. Yeesh. Anyway, we get Cody running down, trying to exact his revenge on Chris, and he gets the advantage for the short period until Sammy Guevara comes out and be like, and they're looking at it like, hey, boom, blow. Yep, Guevara's the heel. Everybody boo him. And we get a 4-on-3 beatdown only for his brother, Dustin Rhodes, to come out and take the advantage. Starting with low blow and Guevara, we get scoop slams, and it looks like the faces. You would expect the normality here. Standing tall in the end, we get some sort
especially for the debut.
Yeah, then we get the debut of, and everybody chanted "We the People." I thought that was awesome.
Yeah, that exploded.
Jake Hager. That is how you bring Jake Hager in. It looked like he was a badass enforcer in this. He went to town everybody, and it ended with him going like this, like he's the enforcer for this, what seems to be a new faction in AEW.
Yeah, it was reported by Dave Meltzer, a.k.a. AEW's PR spokesperson at this point. He said, yes, they're going to be a faction to counteract the Elite going forward.
Interesting.
So Jericho's formed his own B Elite group.
I can only imagine what it's called. Being Alpha? Alpha Club? I don't know, but I like this a lot. So now you got the Elite versus Jericho's Universe. I don't know what they're going to call it. I hope they don't call it that. But I thought this was an incredible ending to what I got to see on the show with the heels staying tall. And they ended right on time. And immediately encore on Hulu. I thought that was great. I don't know if they'll do that going forward. Now, before we split to NXT, Eric, was there anything else that happened after this?
Well, after the event had ended, they gave away matches.
Oh, they what? You got three?
Yeah.
Holy cow! What did you see?
Let me
Without
double
spoiling it, without spoiling anything, because I know I'm guessing Tuesday Dark will be all four of these dark matches in full.
I believe so. But before that, AEW when AEW went off the air, Jake Hager went on top of the rope and looked like he was going to do the "We the People" pledge, but then it was like, eh.
Yeah, that's a heel. Brilliant. Oh, I love it.
Let's see. The matches that we got was for the dark matches. You'll be surprised who was the first tag team match we got on there.
Oh, tag match.
Yeah, Jack Evans and Angelico and the Lucha Bros team to take on Private Party and the Best Friends with Orange Cassidy around at ringside.
So that's when the mini Orange Cassidy moment happened. Wow. I can't wait to see that 4-on-4. The first 4-on-4 tag match in AEW.
To watch that match entirely because I left them and throw some stuff away. Yeah,
Okay.
but the second match I saw was Britt Baker and Ali versus Penelope Ford and Bea Priestley.
Yay, Ali. Oh, Bea Priestley was there.
Yeah.
Sweet. Okay.
And
I can only imagine Britt and Bria.
And the final match was a rematch from All Out. SCU versus the Jurassic Express.
Jurassic Express, I think, are still the leading merchandise stars. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing all of those and how the stats change and how they play into the weeks coming up, because right now we only know 2 matches, or so we did, for next week's AEW Dynamite. But before we talk more about AEW Dynamite, because
But there is one thing I did want to mention about Luchasaurus, and I was like, I was looking up who was Luchasaurus, and I was like, wait a second. I know him. Know him?
He's Andrew from Big Brother.
No.
What?
He was in NXT once upon a time.
He was?
Yeah, and guess who almost wanted him? And guess what? A leader wanted to bring him into the family.
Huh. Wait, they wanted to bring him into the Wyatt family?
Yeah, I was watching it and it was like, he got to be our next member.
Oh, well, I mean, he certainly plays the bill with his giant size. Good grief.
Yeah, different. He was a lot different from what I saw now. Like, he had a lot of tattoos on his body. He kept saying, "I feel the pain, Sister Abigail," on Twitter a lot. But he had an spinal injury, and he somehow bounced back from that.
Oh, all right.
But yeah, originally they were gonna think, hey, let's call him up and Wyatt family join up with Bray Wyatt, fourth official member, before Braun Strowman came around.
Right, and Braun Strowman, of course, being the black sheep out of nowhere that came in on Monday Night Raw, didn't even go through the NXT system and just wreaked havoc. But apparently he was like a rosebud in Adam Rose's parade with the bunny, and we never learned who the bunny was, so poor bunny.
Yeah, originally it was supposed to be Justin Gabriel. Yeah, so basically, like, okay, if I was Justin Gabriel, I would have quit after that. When I was told, hey, keep acting like you was a bunny and do these insane stunts up in the bunny. I'm pretty sure he would have quit after that. I'm pretty sure I would have quit that because I was like, I came here to wrestle and be a stunt buddy, not be a.
Yep, exactly. But anyway,
back on the east side of things, we got the main event, the Undisputed Street Profits.
Yes, and with Wale bringing the Street Profits in, not Booker T. And we get the we want the smoke. I'm like, okay, I didn't understand for the longest time what that was. I guess that's like they want the fight. They want to fight. Okay. And it was weird, but I mean, you know, I got the crowd involved. When I say street, you say profits. And it looks like the crowd were having a ton of fun. Everybody had a red Solo cup, probably obviously handed out before this even happened. And yeah, and this match was, again, another great bout. All 4 of these men have amazing chemistry, but you gotta imagine this was the send-off for the Street Profits from NXT.
Yeah, I just looked up about what does that "we want the smoke" means.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Basically, from what it says here on hold on, let me see. Basically, it means we want war.
Oh, Okay.
Or
I'm
like
sure
you
if
want
it-
someone to get their behind kicked in a sport.
Well, I'm sure the Street Profits wanted to kick Undisputed Era's ass because they are the NXT Tag Team Champions. And this was
Yeah,
the
and I
match.
didn't even know Montez Ford was married to her.
Oh, you didn't know that?
No, I was like, oh wow, I didn't see that coming. I didn't know that.
Yeah, WPC showed that a while back, and it was actually announced on WWE.com that Montez Ford and Bianca Belair, they're married.
Yeah.
Isn't that
Must have missed
interesting?
that day.
Oh, well, maybe I don't know. Maybe they will keep him down there, or Bianca Belair gonna be part of the draft. I guess we'll see soon enough. But I thought it
Well,
was
as you know, WWE's eyes, they have to split couples up
that's true. That's true.
for some reason.
Reasons. So much red tape behind that word. This was a great tag team title match, though. I mean, Street Profits, they got all the antics in. I mean, we got the freaking Uranagi that looks like a giant rock bottom for Montez Ford. He
And
got
you
his
got
pop.
Kyle O'Reilly being the comedian, do the air guitar better than Hogan ever did.
He even got a guitar pick. I love it. I hope that's an Undisputed Era guitar pick. I would buy that. And yeah, in the end, there was one point where it looked like he was going to tap out, but then Angelo Dawkins literally froze. Bobby Fish on top of Kyle O'Reilly breaks up a submission with Montez Ford. Ford gets hot, but we get a distraction spot eventually with Roderick Strong in the end. And this exceeded the 2 hour span, by the way. They didn't go like TV
Yeah,
time.
I heard they were good time for this.
Yeah, they said they're going to stick with this, and they did. Figured like 10:15, the show officially ended.
Yeah,
But,
that's what it was said. It was said a week prior to 15 this time for now.
yeah, because they wanted to go all out. And I mean, this felt like a mini takeover in a way, though. I gotta be honest, with all these title matches. But
Except for the Norway.
yeah, well, there's that. But they did hype up what they are getting next week, and we are getting an NXT Cruiserweight title match. I guess the Cruiserweight title now is renamed the NXT Cruiserweight title.
Yeah, so now we just need to change this color scheme and it will be perfect.
I completely agree. Purple leather. Unless you're Velveteen Dream and even he didn't do that. No, stick to the belt buckles or side plates. But yeah. And then we also get the match of Kushida versus Walter, which to my knowledge, the two have never faced each other one-on-one. I cannot wait for that.
Yeah, and I was like, Walter!
Imperium! I love it. What am I?
Ring is sacred!
Exactly. The mat is circled. Oh, man. Anyway, this match was great, and Roderick Strong comes in with the distraction finish, and the high-low gives us the win. The prophecy still is intact. Adam Cole comes out, he raises the belt, and it looks like we're done, but beep, beep, beep. Ciampa is back officially.
Yeah, after almost being killed by Vince.
He wants Goldie back.
Yes. And I watched it and I was like, oh my God, Ciampa is possibly the best actor we got on NXT going, because when you look at it, he's constantly staring at Goldie with this lustful desire on his eyes and his face. And then when he looks at the person who's holding it right now, he just gives disgust and anger.
Exactly. I mean, I knew this was teased on Twitter. I knew he was rehabbing. I knew since the kickoff thing he says, I will be back. What a day to come back. And now you got Adam Cole's got to deal with the fact of, okay, now I got to worry about Finn Balor. Now I got to worry about Ciampa. Are you kidding me? They gotta do Ciampa versus Finn Balor, #1 contender for the freaking NXT title.
Remember how I mentioned the War Games match and how I said 3? Where's Adam Cole in this? Oh, he's fighting 2 people.
Yeah, I mean, the triple threat. Why not? And I mean, you could definitely do that with the 2-ring setup, but what an ending angle to NXT. I thought the crowd was out for Finn Balor. Well, the crowd was hot all night. I mean, because, dedicated NXT people, they know wrestling.
Yeah, though, here's what I said. I said Ciampa's return was inevitable, but was going to be awesome. Finn Balor's was the shocking moment, but Jack Swagger, a.k.a. Jake Hager's comeback was the complete reinvention of himself and was possibly the loudest pop he ever got in his career.
So out of the big return moments, Jack Hager wins out of those 3 without a doubt. I mean,
yeah.
Finn Balor, nobody expected Jack Hager to come in during this night. It was rumored, and he felt reinvented. So with that being said, that concluded both the shows for week 1 in the Wednesday Night War. And when you look at the ratings, AEW killed it.
Yeah.
Number 2.
They got over 1.1 million viewers. NXT only got
891,000 for NXT and 1.4 million for freaking AEW. And according to the demographics, they took a lot of the main demographic the WWE is trying to get.
Well, once more.
Yeah. And they literally were number 2. The only thing they lost out to was MLB, Major League Baseball. NXT was number 10. But, okay, so here's my fear. Because NXT did not a million, they did significantly less. But AEW, they did tremendous in their first week. And there's hype all over the media for that. They're already saying, I'm sure this is USA and or Vince, like, we got to get NXT out of this building. Triple H personally said he wants to keep NXT in Full Sail because that's the people, we the people, no pun intended, literally made NXT happen. It's our brand. We made this happen. He wants to go.
You saw Triple H acts with the fans, like hit one on USA, he got in the crowd and starts chanting NXT, NXT. And then the second week he goes out to dinner with them.
And who knows what he's gonna do next? But I mean, I'm worried that they're gonna try and move NXT out of there, and it's gonna affect it tremendously. But
yeah, it's like thinking, like, can't you just do it the way this Triple H always did? Like, it's mostly in Full Sail, but they do go out at times.
Yeah, just a road show, you know. Make the NXT live shows actually part of your NXT product and continuality with your storylines. Because I guarantee you, I'll be at NXT Cleveland or Detroit or Columbus. Come back to those cities. I can't wait. Next year, March. I bet you it will happen again. But with that, the first week of the war, from presentation to match quality to surprises to everything in between, I got to give it to AEW.
Yeah, like, in my opinion, here's what I said. AEW had the atmosphere, had everything going for them, but NXT had more of the match quality-wise and more focus on everything. Because at certain points, there were some issues with AEW stuff, but so on my official Twitter thread thing I'm doing, which you've seen,
yes,
I gave NXT's the 5 points, the 5 rating system of a 3.6, and AEW gets a 3.2. Though I personally say I gave it a 4 because I was there.
I'm about to say, you enhanced your experience with AEW because you were there live. I simulcast both shows, then I watched the encores of both shows twice because I have not cared more about a night in wrestling than I do now, where it's like I got to challenge myself. And technically, I got the same thing next week. I got John Moxley versus Shawn Spears, and we got Private Party versus the Young Bucks. NXT, though, they're bringing the NXT Cruiserweight title between Leo Rush, Drew Gulak, and Kushida and Walter. I'm like, don't make me choose!
Yeah.
Okay, if I have to, I'm just going to flip through them because it depends what's going on, because when it comes to AEW, the excitement's there, but I also look at what I know in NXT and what I'm excited for. I am a huge, huge supporter of Drew Gulak, and New Japan Pro Wrestling my number 1. I got to respect Kushida. So if they somehow make Shawn Spears and John Moxley occur at the same time as Kushida and Walter, I'm going to tune into Kushida and Walter. I'm just going to say that right now. So, Eric, how are you going to handle the Wednesday Night War going forward?
Well, here's I'm going to watch AEW mostly because whereas AEW is always live and whatnot, and NXT is more like, we're live, but we also give you the episode, not within a month, we give it within 24 hours on the network.
Yeah, that's true. Like
I said some, but it's all dead. Now fans don't have reason to tune in live. They could just go on the network within 24 hours. They don't have to wait a month.
Hopefully it will boost actually network sales too, so maybe this is a good plan on WWE's part. But again, I have to say right now, I'm just going to say it. Wednesdays are officially, I'm all elite. I'm going to stick with AEW. Thursdays, I'm going to make NXT Day, because not only can I watch NXT, like you said, 10 to midnight, but they move NXT UK the same day as well. You wonder how much those two brands might bounce off each other, because I don't know what the future of 205 Live is going to be at this point.
Yeah, they might. Now I heard that they canceled it on the SmackDown afterwards and just did a dark show.
Yeah, that's what I heard for this week. Is that going to be the same thing going forward? Is the 205 Live brand done? Because they did have 2 matches set up. Drew Gulak's like, at Fox, what happened? And I'm like, Drew, I don't know. Tell me. Maverick, tell me. I'm like, what happened? So
so basically your 205 Live match show might not be working out so well in the future.
Well, you remember when NXT did the end of the beginning? That wasn't even a tape, that was just a thing. The end of the beginning. It might be the end of the beginning for my Two for That Matter series because, as far as I'm concerned, if you have primary cruiserweight type wrestling or wrestlers being showcased, like in New Japan Pro Wrestling, in Ring of Honor, in Impact Wrestling, and even AEW, even though they don't have a cruiserweight division, but you see these smaller guys go up against these bigger foes, like Sammy Guevara, for example, then I
Or
feel like
Rio and Nyla Rose.
yeah, I feel like 205 Mavs will always exist just on principle. I'm just gonna have to reinvent it, and we'll see where that goes. But
Yes.
as far as aftermath for NXT, there really wasn't much to it besides the two matches they set up, and Mia Yim's like, I gotta do something. I keep losing. But we already got big aftermath of AEW. Freaking Cody attacked Chris Jericho at Comic Con.
Oh wow, I didn't hear that till just now. I'll
Yeah,
be
just
sure to look at that later.
go to AEW's Instagram. It's awesome. Freaking time in New York Comic Con. It was freaking great.
Yeah, I'm
And
just loving how they're using the internet to their advantage.
yeah, they are much more than NXT is, and you think NXT might try and do more of that because with all these different avenues, these Chris Friendly interviews, the Being the Elite, the Rose, and now the Dark that you told me these matches I get ready to see. I can't wait for those. AEW every reach out to fans, both hardcore and new, and I feel like they're truly bringing in new fans. So I'm going to be really interested in how the ratings shape up over the next few months per se. But I'm just going to remain mutual. I love both, and AEW and NXT are the best parts of my week. But Wednesdays, I'm officially dedicating myself to all elite wrestling. And we also learned another tag match was made for next week as well. We are going to get Hangman Adam Page and Dustin Rhodes versus Chris Jericho and Sammy Guevara.
Told you they're doing a faction.
Yeah, it's Faction Wars. This is going to be interesting. It makes me wonder what other things Cody might want to reinvent or bring back from WCW. And I'm really looking forward to what they do next with everything as far as the AEW presentation and if they do like a big presentation match of the next pay-per-view full gear like they did with the ladder match. I'm very looking forward to all these unpredictable variables with
Yeah,
AEW.
and then you gotta realize something. Wait a second. In January, Wrestle Kingdom comes around, and Hiroshi Tanahashi might fight Jericho, who's currently AEW champion.
That is correct, and that's what's rumored right now. And there are big changes coming to New Japan Pro Wrestling because I read that their president, can't remember his name, he's leaving with no reason after Wrestle Kingdom. Who knows how that's going to change things in New Japan Pro Wrestling?
Yeah, and wasn't it said that the current president of New Japan kind of hates Kenny Omega for leaving them?
Yes, but
So
also
does that mean that if the new president takes over, could we get the partnership everyone wants to see?
possibly because it's also rumored Minoru Suzuki is unhappy right now, and the only reason he's kind of happy is because of his program right now with Jushin Thunder Liger. He's thinking about going away from New Japan Pro Wrestling, and one or two spots come to mind for him. Pro Wrestling Noah or AEW. And to think,
Yeah,
there might also be John Moxley versus Minoru Suzuki, both men who are truly pro to that at Wrestle Kingdom.
yeah. And
Now
even
that's a
John
match.
Moxley said, I want to fight him.
Yeah. And Minoru Suzuki said, okay, I want to fight you. Let's go. And I want to
So
see that
we
match.
know that John Moxley's going to have a big year ahead of him.
I mean, he's already had. I mean, John Moxley, again, he's alive, reborn, and like he says, this is what you call a paradigm shift. Truer words have never been spoken in a promo. And then I watched Tony Khan's scrum about, the AEW product, and he probably did really great. He appreciates all his partnerships. He appreciates all the backstage work that Alex Marvez does and stuff like that. Because he said the commentary team going forward for the AEW product is Tony Schiavone, Jim Ross, and Excalibur. But Golden Boy, he will be part of AEW Full Gear. So that's going to be interesting. I guess Alex Marvez works more like a backstage type role with all the social media outlook, the presentation stuff, like the control center. So he plays more of a backstage role in AEW, which I think works great for him because he was getting a lot of slack as a commentator. I didn't think he was that bad.
Yeah, I thought he was just all right. But, also I noticed when I was watching, I was like, wait, where are the librarians?
Oh, yeah, good point. They weren't even mentioned. Maybe they're finally going to push away from that. But, I mean, according to AEW's roster, Leva Bates and Peter Avalon, they're still labeled as a librarian. I hope AEW All Elite Wrestling's website actually adds not just like the picture as you scroll down, but it shows you everyone's stat. Because you look at the picture, there's nothing there except unless he's part of a tag team or he's executive vice president or he has a gimmick like the librarian. they need to add like the stats and maybe like a little bio to each one. I'm sure this is a work in progress, but I feel like the All Elite Wrestling website is still a little underdeveloped.
Yeah. Also, Kenny Omega did say he wants to make a video game be announced this year before the end of the year's out.
Eat your heart out, WWE 2K20. I bet you I know what game I'm gonna get if that happens. Yeah, he said, and that also leads to the fact that I got Golden Boy here, who called video games for a living.
Yeah.
So there you go. So between internet promotion, video games, marketing, media interest, and I can only imagine Fox is going to be watching this closely too. This is going to be very interesting because, truth be told, the most viewed show this week was SmackDown with.
Unfortunately.
Let's face it, Cain Velasquez, The Rock, Brock Lesnar, Sports Centered Network. It all led to that. Next week, you go to the normal and you advertise Blood Money. I bet you they'll be lucky to hit 3 mil.
Yeah, and Fox wants it consistent, so basically, that good luck with that.
You wonder what's going to happen, though, the first time it's like, okay, you didn't do it. Are they going to give them a warning, or are they going to start like, we want our money back?
Or they'll say, okay, give us NXT. Because you promised to give us NXT, and then you backstabbed us.
Well, they already said they want the Fiend Bray Wyatt, and right now, he's on you.
Yeah. But Paul Heyman is trying to keep it.
Yeah. Is the Fiend right now the most viable player in the friggin' WWE draft? Certainly seems like it.
Yeah, though he might win the Universal title soon, hopefully, and not screw him out.
Yeah, we'll pray on that. But again, this isn't about WWE main roster. This is about the Wednesday Night War. And as far as week 1, A+. I'm ecstatic. Can't wait for week 2.
Yeah, so, I'm going to look forward to it. And we never gave the name for this podcast.
No, we really didn't. I mean, I don't know what you call it.
I told you I was thinking of calling it the Wednesday Night War Roundup.
I mean, we pretty much covered everything in and out of both promotions, from exclusive standpoint, posts, etc. I mean, I'm fine with that, and I'm fine doing this going forward. Even if it's just, and we lightly foreshadowed next week too, which of course we'll cover. And I'm sure over the next few days, especially from AEW, with of course them doing Being the Elite on Monday, as they always do at noon, we'll get more of what to expect from AEW. My only question left is this. Since AEW is on Wednesdays, you didn't do a road for it immediately after it on Thursdays, but you did post me a scrum, and Tony Khan said these scrums aren't happening every week. What's going to happen now with the roads and stuff like that? Are you going to do those as the dark thing, with the dark thing the same day? Are you going to do the roads as a thing before AEW Dynamite? Because the roads build more into the matches and actually telling you about the people in the matches. And I do hope they continue that going forward, but you think they can keep that up on a weekly basis?
I was thinking like the Road to TNA thing was just gonna be a one-time thing since this was a big deal, and that they were just gonna save the Road 2s for pay-per-views and probably do a TNT special where they have a compilation of all the Road 2 episodes.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me one bit, but I also wonder if they would do like some sort of like teaser though, kind of like a pre-show. Oh yeah, that's right, NXT did have a pre-show. I'm sorry, I didn't watch it. It was kind of Charlie Caruso, Sam Roberts talking about NXT. Nothing special. I gotta be honest, those three as a trio, they kind of bore me.
All right, though I am curious to know how Vince is handling the fact that AEW got the first shot this week.
Oh, I can only imagine. But you saw that mutual tweet from W about congratulations.
Yeah, and I was thinking of two things. One, either WWE's genuine or Vince was slowly crying when he had to write this public statement to not look bitter.
Is Vince capable of showing emotion?
Well, let's see. It's bitter and contempt, like he took a shot at the Elite back during the New Day storyline. Like, remember when he told Kofi, when he basically said, Kofi, you're just using these, quote, 2 young bucks to get yourself over? And I was like, Vince, leave the humor shots to the Elite and Triple H.
Exactly.
Because at least they're laughing. You're just sounding bitter because you couldn't get Kenny signed.
Exactly. And again, if it wasn't for All Elite Wrestling, the Bucks and Omega probably would have signed with WWE. And who knows what would happen to them.
Actually, they said All Elite Wrestling would not have happened if New Japan and Ring of Honor came to a deal regarding how they were treated.
Yeah, that's true. There was a lot of unknown factors coming out of Wrestle Kingdom 13. Because if Omega wasn't leaving, guarantee you he wouldn't have lost that belt.
Yeah, he was originally supposed to keep until G1 Supercard, and they were going to do Okada versus Omega.
Right. Instead, you got Jay White and Okada. And honestly, that wasn't the highlight of the show, in my opinion. The highlight of that show, I gotta say it was Kota Ibushi versus freaking Tetsuya Naito.
Yeah, however, that match went down a peg a little bit because of what happened in the night.
Yeah, that hurt the event. But yeah. So I'm extremely curious now who else Tony Khan has, because Tony Khan's a thinking man, as we learned in the scrum. He had Jake Hager signed for a long time. Who else does he have under the wings?
Well, let's see. Here's the thing. Kane has not signed with WWE yet.
That's correct.
Imagine if he shows up next week on AEW just after showing up on Fox.
They're playing both sides. Be like, you! And then he gets buried at freaking Blood Money because he faces Brock for the WWE title of Blood Money now.
Yeah, I was also Braun Strowman might be fighting that boxer soon at Blood Money.
Hey, sports oriented, right? But I guess Braun's now Big Show, and that boxer's Floyd Money Mayweather. I don't know.
Yeah, great. Braun is now going to be forever as the Big Show. Yay.
Yay. Well, we can only hope he'll have a better winning record.
Or doesn't have face turns on the wazoo.
Oh, good Lord. Don't get me started on that nonsense. Okay, so I think we about covered everything as far as the Wednesday Night War with some subtleties about the main roster. Because technically, while AEW is going up against NXT, it's AEW versus WWE. And when you look at all these shows and Wednesday Night Wars, AEW is winning.
Yeah. And here's the thing, you gotta remember, NXT had a 2-week advantage over this.
That's right. With a mixed USA special giving you a teaser what to expect on USA Network, and then an hour on the freaking WWE Network. You wonder if those 2 hours, those first two specials were full length on the USA Network. Would that have shaped things better in the numbers? Because more people are like, oh, NXT, I realize what this is now. This is actually interesting.
Yeah, though you have to also blame Suits coming to an end on that part.
Well, what are you going to do? People love their dramas.
Yeah, well, Suits over now.
Yeah, but wait, so they'll come up with another show. Maybe the Chrisleys will be on or something. I don't know.
I think the Chrisleys might not be lasting long because of that lawsuit.
Oh, jeez. Way to go, guys. All right. So
this was the Wednesday Night War AEW versus NXT Weekly Roundup. This was me, Eric, and Noah. This was a fun time. I hope to see you all again next week. Can't wait to see you again, Noah. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and donate, and stay tuned for more.
Bye, y'all.